Cindrill, my Cinderella assassin story. Today we're going to be taking a look at what happens when our Cinderella assassin is sent to the palace to murder the prince, but he's hunting her too. So today we're going to jump in. We're going to read the first chapter of this. And before we do, I do want to read the blurb to you so you know what we're talking about. Cinderella is an assassin out to murder the prince, but he's hunting her too. The nanobots that Cindrill's master gives her to use as a mask allow her to slip into the ball wearing a face that isn't hers, but when the assassination attempt goes sideways, Prince Davian doesn't understand why her face changes when he injures her, slicing her foot open around a unique pair of shoes as she runs away. When Cindrill runs into the prince the next day without her nanobot mask on, he doesn't recognize her, but immediately decides her skills will be useful in his hunt for the would-be assassin woman who nearly killed his father and his fiancée the night before. Both are tasked with the job of murdering the other, but things don't go quite as they had planned when Cindrill's master and Davian's fiancée interfere as the two try to decide whether or not to kill each other. It's hard to recognize a woman when she uses technology to change her appearance, but Cindrill is going to use that to her full advantage as she destroys the prince. Will either survive? So today we are going to be taking a look at the first chapter of Cindrill, and I'm super excited that you guys are joining me. Go ahead and leave your love for Cindrill down below as we jump in, and if you have questions, please feel free to drop those for me as well. I'm going to go ahead and I am going to pop up our reading, which is a little bit blocked by my characters. That's okay. You'll work with me here. And I am going to read with my blue light blocking glasses because I don't want to burn my eyes out as we go. So are you guys ready? Let's go ahead and let's do this. I'm going to grab some water first. And please note I haven't practiced this, so here we go. This is a dual point of view story. Chapter 1 is from Cindrill's perspective. It is entirely possible that I made the wrong choice coming here tonight. He's gorgeous in his tuxedo, smiling at the crowd, waving to his subjects. His son isn't half bad either. His smile is radiant as I look at him through my master's scope, the target falling directly on the prince's chest. A group of people surrounds him, congratulating him on his impending nuptials. His betrothed stands next to him, now obscured by a group of well-wishers. "Change of plans," Master murmurs. He pulls the weapon back, returning it to its hiding place. "We're going down there." This wasn't the plan. We were supposed to kill them from the balcony and escape. My job was to be the distraction so Master wouldn't get caught. Mixing with the people was never supposed to be a part of this. He wheels around on his heels, stalking across the walkway to the stairs. I descend first, taking my place among the partygoers. I mix with the ladies in their incredible gowns, my own matching theirs tonight. "A dance, mistress?" A gentleman of the court holds his hand out to me. No one else is dancing. "Oh, no," I sputter. "Thank you. I haven't congratulated the prince yet. Excuse me." "Ridiculous petty woman," he mumbles as I flee. "She wears a green gown and suddenly she thinks she's the queen of summer." I ignore him as I brush through the crowd, batting my eyelashes whenever I bump into a man. I intentionally avoid the women. They'd look too closely at me. My new job is to clear a path for Master. I'm the distraction. He will follow behind, and while I have the attention of the crowd, he will murder the king and his son. I tuck one of my chestnut curls behind me and breeze through the people until I'm only a few feet from the prince's bride-to-be. She's a tiny thing. She may even be younger than I am. Her hair is piled on her head in blonde ringlets that are so fair that they're nearly white. The girl is attached to the prince's arm, looking nervous. Villa runs a charity for orphans," Prince Davian informs his guests. He glances at her with a forced smile. I've only been in their presence for the last hour, but even I can tell this arranged marriage isn't doing anything for either of them. She's very charitable on her father's behalf. "Won't you miss working with the children, princess?" A woman shoves a microphone at her. "I'm sure I'll have responsibilities here that will keep me busy, but of course I'll miss the children." She tries to smile, but it's clear she's upset about leaving her charity. I can't say I blame her. I'd be mad if I didn't have a choice in my life too. Or rather, I am mad that I don't have a choice in my life either. Prince Davian rattles off a list of the foreign princess's virtues. The more he talks, the higher the princess stands. Perhaps she's coming to terms with the arrangement, and she's stopping the wilted flower act, or maybe she's just proud of her many accomplishments. I'm proud of mine as well, though I can hardly imagine how the prince would spin my achievements. How would one describe the actions of an assistant to an assassin? Princess Villa catches my eye and smiles, praising my dress. While hers is full on the bottom and sleek on the top, mine isn't nearly as poofy. Hers is restricted into a bell shape at the bottom, while mine flows loose enough to run in without tripping me as I move in these ridiculous shoes. Master's apprentice Claude designed the outfit for me. He has a flair for the eye-catching. The top of my dress drapes in the front and plummets in the back, revealing a good portion of my spine. My shoes are tall but solid. I couldn't roll my ankle in them if I tried, and I had tried just to prove a point to him. The sides of them wrap around the top of my foot in a pattern that looks like a wave from the sea or arching mountains that curl over on themselves. They look as fierce and vicious as I'm supposed to be. Villa almost looks jealous of them. I like your shoes, she murmurs. Thank you, princess. I like your gown. She smiles at me, moving her head to smooth her already perfectly in place dress. Now is as good a time as any. I have to get her out of the way for Master. Would you tell me about your charity? She lights up, prepared to gush. The princess tells me about the children there and the big fundraising event she's helping them plan. It appears I'm doing the world a favor by ending her marriage before it begins. She'll go back to the orphanage, and the world will be better for it. The screams are my first indication that something is wrong. A woman sobs as the crowd shuffles. Another scream fills the air. Shoot her! The prince is pulled back by a guard, leaving the princess standing alone next to me. A man nearby falls, bleeding out on the ground. The king screams as the bullet rips through his upper leg. His guards pull the king back as Master approaches. He's clothed from head to toe in black. A hood covers his head, while a cape billows out behind him just enough to look impressive, but not enough for anyone to grab onto. Claude designed it that way. Master moves toward me, but he doesn't make eye contact. Instead, he raises his weapon toward Villa. She wasn't part of the deal. We're not supposed to hurt the foreign dignitaries, just the king and the prince. Her kingdom is a friend of Master's. They've used him on occasion to fix some of their more discreet problems. If Master kills this girl, he's bringing a war down on all our heads that we won't likely survive. But he doesn't seem to care. No, I shout, stepping in front of her. My job is to protect Master, and tonight that means I must protect him from himself, even if it means my own death. I pull out the weapon Claude embedded in the side of my dress, hidden by the folds of my skirt. Aiming it at Master, I threaten to shoot his arm to stop him. He sees at me as I push the princess backwards. One of the guards takes aim at Master, releasing several bullets in our direction. One whizzes past me, nearly striking Villa around my arm stretched across her. She screams, realizing how close she came to being hit. Master reels back, a bullet burying itself in his upper arm. As he staggers backward, I turn, forcing the princess to run. She trips over her own feet, but I drag her along, carefully pointing my weapon away from her. The palace is a flurry of screams, accompanied by pounding feet as the court runs in different directions, trying to avoid Master's assault. The hallway is my best option, and I flee with my charge in tow. She gasps behind me, but manages to keep up until I push her to run in front of me, using my hands to push her faster. Stop, someone screams behind me. Unhand the princess. Ordinarily, they might assume that I was helping her, but the majority of the palace guards saw me pull my weapon on Master, and it's only logical to assume that the people with the weapons are working together. In truth, we are. More fire sounds behind me, but I don't stop. My gaze darts around the hallway, looking for an escape. I can hear Master approaching. His telltale footfall rings in my ears above all the other noise. I've been trained far too well to miss him. Kill her, Master yells to me, his voice altered by one of Claude's devices. I round the corner and see the doorway, a closet. I fling the door open and shove the princess inside. Stay quiet, I hiss, shutting the door as quietly as possible before running. The guards rush around the corner, Master suddenly quiet. He escapes somewhere in the palace and deactivates his nanobot mask to change his appearance so no one recognizes him as the shooter, leaving me to take the blame. Before I can reach the next corner, one of the guards reaches me. I shouldn't have stopped to save the princess, and he pulls on my shoulder. Thank goodness my dress is off the shoulder, or he would have ripped it with the way he grabs at me. I dip down, throwing him off balance, and he slips to the floor as I try to speed up. Searing pain rips through my right foot, and I cry out. As I turn to see what happened, I lose my shoe. I've been cut. The man who attacked me must have pulled his knife as he was falling and sliced the top of my foot around the shoe's intricate design. The green heel bounces away from him. The man on the ground looks up at me, shouting something. The knife glints in his hand. But I don't stop, even as the prince's tirade continues from his place on the marble floor. The nanobots peel off my face, racing down my body to my leg to form a new shoe so that I can continue to run at the same pace. I turn as quickly as possible to conceal my identity. I can't let him see my face. The hall sounds hollow as I pound across the marble in one green heel and one silver one, or silver until the nanobots have enough time to change color. For now, I have to tolerate the mismatched colors as the nanobots do a more important job, keeping me from sliding on the slippery floor. I dart out into the night air. The sky is black as ink, and the stars twinkle in the crisp autumn evening. Master is waiting at the end of the palace drive as I rush down the stairs. And then we jump into chapter 2, which is from Davian's perspective, and we learn a little bit more about what happens when the king is shot in the leg and who he blames and why it's Davian's problem to find the would-be assassin woman and what happens to the foreign princess as she is still locked in a closet in the palace hallway. So I'm really excited for this one. This has been one that is talked about by my fans all of the time. They have a lot to say about this one, and I would love to hear from you guys. Have you read Cindrill before? If you have, get in my comments. Let me know. Let me know who your favorite character is. I am partial very strongly to our fantastic Cindrill and to Claude, our fairy god brother. And I want to hear from you guys. Keep going, keep going. I know I cut it off at the mean spot, right? There's a lot that goes on inside of this story, and I'm a big fan of this twisted retelling of Cinderella. I missed the table as I was putting my arm down. And you can see, if you take a look at the cover, we do have Cindrill's shoe on the cover. I did design this shoe specifically for this story. So yes, I made this shoe for this story, and this is how he could potentially be recognizing our Cindrill, our Cinderella assassin later on in the story, because she now has her foot sliced up when he fell and dragged that knife over her interesting colored or interesting designed shoe. And when they meet again, she will not have that nanobot mask on her face. So we know that it peels off as she was running, and he's now kind of terrified over this. And the next morning, things are going to come to a head as he goes searching for our would-be assassin woman, and she runs into him in the market. Erica, thanks so much for joining. Appreciate you being here. I know Danielle wants us to keep reading. Another time, friend. It's on your to-read list. Oh, I'm so excited to hear that. This is a fun one. There's a lot that goes on inside of this story. This is a novella, so it's not super long. You will be able to get it done pretty dang quickly. And we've got the most glamorous, like super pretty chapter headers in this one. Let me just show you one more time. How pretty is that? Those are designed for the chandeliers inside of the ball. I did design this to go with the cover and the story and all the fun things. So we got some cool things inside of this story. And if you do pick it up, please go ahead and leave a review on Amazon, on BookBub, on all the buying platforms. That really helps me out. And put it on social media. Show it on Book Talk, show it on BookTube, show it on Bookstagram, and let people know that you are reading it. If you love it, please DM me and talk about my characters with me and how mean I am to these guys. There is some swooning stuff in here, but it is very much enemies to lovers, maybe, inside of this story. And I want to know from you, which book would you like me to read the next first chapter for? We have continued this series with this one, so we already have some of them done and read. I have read some of my books like back when they came out 3 years ago, but we are upping our game and redoing all of these things. So if you've got a book of mine that you would like to see me read next, I've got 24 of them. Go ahead and let me know which book I should jump in for our next live reading, which we are doing every single Wednesday until I get through all of my books. So let me know which one you would like to hear from next. And I will see you guys on our live stream, both on Instagram and on TikTok and here on YouTube and on Facebook. We do several of these per week, and I can't wait for you guys to jump in. Melissa is suggesting my Mulan story. I have done the first chapter of that. So Melissa, if you are on our YouTube page or if you are on our Facebook page, you actually have the ability to jump in and watch the first chapter of Mulan Dragon Shifter. It is available for you right now. If you DM me, I can also send you the link to that, and you can check that out right now. That's the one you're saving up to buy. Oh, that's a fun one. It's everything that I don't write. I threw it into a book, and I just had so much fun with like the love triangles and the shifters and like, whew, It's a fun one. It is a fun one. Danielle is giving a shout out to the hardcover because the Mulan hardcover is the first one that we had the ability to do some really cool extra things. So we have the main cover on Mulan as the dust jacket, but underneath there's an alternative cover and it's magical. So make sure you check that out. Erica wants me to read Mulan. Girls, it's out. It's there. It's available for you. You can check it out right now. You don't even have to wait until next week. I'm super excited. Go ahead and leave some comments on that one. And we're actually gonna do some live Q&A. So stay tuned. I actually might hop on TikTok later today because I want to talk about my characters. Usually we talk about the writing process over there, but I want to talk about my books and my characters. So bring your questions later on today. We'll jump on a live stream on TikTok. I can't wait to see you guys there. Thanks for joining me as we hung out and read the first chapter of Cindrill, my Cinderella assassin retelling. I can't wait to see what you guys think of this. I will see you next week as we continue our live first chapter reading series. And I will see you in the comments of the ones that we have already done. Until then, I hope you all have a great day and stay inspired. Bye, friends.